Catus Maximus here, this time with another charger review. Definitely not my most popular videos, but I definitely want to get some reviews out there. These Q2 Quest chargers are actually some of the more common ones. A few years ago, a lot of people really liked them, and they do work pretty reliably for me, although they are pretty slow. Anywhere where you see these, they advertise them as being a quick charger or a rapid charger, but these aren't a 1 hour charger. These are like a overnight. These are a 4, 5 hour, even more. How do we know? Because modern, like nickel metal hydride, actually these are NiCads, but even these 1 amp hour NiCads would take 2 hours to charge, more than 2 hours to charge because it's not 100% efficient. We can see that the charging current on every channel is 500 milliamps. Now this yellow one was their real popular unit, and there's actually a few, more professional reviews, at least on when you search through Google on these, and these still are on Amazon as well as eBay. Don't buy these off of Amazon. I've been noticing this on a lot of these older products that I have, is once they either stop manufacturing a particular unit or something like that, a bunch of these sellers will get on Amazon and start charging just absolutely outrageous prices. You get these sellers, and it's a real big issue. You should really know that Amazon is definitely not the cheapest price. You have to do your homework. On some products it is, and on others it's just outrageous. You can get these for around $10 or $15 off of eBay. On Amazon, they sell these with like 4 2100 milliamp hour batteries for like $50. It's just crazy. I was actually going to do a review of this Black & Decker clamp type work light because there's very few that are like this. This one was made like 10 years ago, and it's actually still on Amazon, and they want $50 for it too. And I'm just thinking, that's just totally unethical. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So these are cheap chargers. They're pretty reliable. They were Taiwanese, so they actually work pretty well. The yellow ones are actually the first generation. The gray one is the second generation. The big difference we can see is that the first generation had a little plastic cover. The gray one is actually not missing it. We can see that they didn't even make the holes to accept the cover. Why would they have done that? Heat issues. These covers, even though they make them look sleek, do promote heat to build up when you're charging batteries. But they did do something else, and it's kind of interesting. These are both like totally different brands, different model numbers, but they both were made for Harding Energy, and so that's how we really, besides them being still called Quest Q2s. I'm just curious why in the second generation one they didn't advertise that, because we can see on this gray one that it has 630 amp rapid charge versus a 500 milliamp. So they did increase the performance of this by more than 20%, surprisingly enough. But even then, 600.6 amps trying to charge a 2 amp battery is going to take you 3.5 hours, and that was if it's 100% efficient. It's not 100% efficient on charging batteries. That's one of the reasons they do heat up. And so it's going to take like 4 hours. But these have a particular feature that I really like. Besides generally being recommended because they are a 4-channel charger, these are treated like 4 independent chargers all in the same body, so you can use any combination of batteries or any number, 1 battery, 3 batteries, etc. As well as having dual color LEDs. Go red when they're charging, they will blink red if there's an issue with the battery, and of course go green when they're finished. But they have a feature that I really like. And I'll do that here. Let's just go ahead and plug these in. These are pretty standard. These are a little bit better because these will take 12 to 28 volts. So you can use these on a boat that has 24 volt system. And you could already hear, actually let me turn off the lights so you can see its lights. A little boot up sequence is the beeping. Now this can be modified, and I'll probably make a video a little bit in the future where I add a little micro switch to turn on and off the speaker. But it is kind of nice. I really wish more chargers actually had the option for a beep, and the beep is reasonably loud. One thing I find with beepers is if it's going to have a beeper, I prefer it to actually be loud enough to actually hear on the other side of the house, or if you're working in the garage, because that's the whole point. And I do like it because, you get just that bit of extra confirmation. It beeps when it's done charging, but also it lets you know each time you insert a battery and that it's good, so you didn't have to look at it. It just beeps, and actually I always thought that was neat, and I think it's neat because these are the only chargers I've ever run into that have an audible beep besides an old Makita 14.4 volt commercial grade charger that was just amazing. I don't have any of the old Nikita stuff. Is actually part of an old channel that I deleted because anybody who makes YouTube videos is weird. And then I created this channel too, because I regretted deleting my first channel. Anyway, I think these little Q2 Quest chargers are pretty nice. They still are online, you know, Amazon, eBay, so I definitely wanted to get a review, and there's a professional review. It was just that one professional review, you know, gave this, you know, pretty good rating. But the problem is it's a slow charger. We really expect quick charging. Things like this Duracell 1 hour or this super rapid charger, which puts out huge amounts of power. These 1 amp NiCd batteries, what's crazy is even this gray one's going to take nearly 2 hours to charge these. Where in either of these chargers, holy mackerel, they would charge in 30 minutes or less. But a nice aspect is when you have a bit of a slower charge rate, the batteries actually do last longer. They can go through more cycles. You get less heat buildup, and there's much less worry about, you know, potential fire hazards. And so I kind of like slower chargers because if I have batteries that I'm going to toss in and then maybe not worry about till the next day or whatever, then it's actually nicer to you because then the performance doesn't matter and you can gain just a little bit of extra life by using a slower charge rate. So one of the reasons I have all these chargers. That and my OCD collect things. Anyway, I'll include the part numbers for both of these, but they are pretty easy to find just by Q2 Quest Charger. I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.